Hello, Beez Bladers. Welcome back. Welcome newcomers to the channel. I hope you're having a fan-freaking-tastic day because we're going to check out BEG knives on the channel for the very first time. I have 7 that I've already taken most of these out of the package, so you're not going to have to watch the unboxing part, but we're going to get them out, see what we think about them, see what you think about them, and you never know, I might give all of these away as an entire collection. We'll see. You might want to comment. Are you ready? Let's go. Now, first up, by the way, these are production models, production line. Here we go, not having words. Apparently, BEG Knives they are a California company, and they make some very fancy custom versions, custom knives, and these are production knives that they came out with, and this is the BEG Knives Quaking. Would you look at it? Just look at it and all of its quakiness. And this is aluminum. Look at that. A little bit of aluminum scales going on. And it does have some very nice diamond texture in it. I like the way it looks. It's a very slim design. This is what it looks like on this side. It doesn't have a reversible clip, but the clip does work very well. This little ball bearing, if you want to call that a ball bearing, is very snappy. And it keeps it, it's not going to fall. Even if you're wearing some thin shorts like khakis or something like that, it's not going to come out of your pocket. Now, are you ready to see this blade? Pow! Right in the kisser. Oh, yeah. Look at that bad boy. And I will have a link or links in the description to all these knives that I'm showing you. So if you're wanting to get any specs that I don't speak about, like the length or the width or the height or things like that. By the way, this one weighs 3.45 ounces. This one has D2 steel. And I have to say that the fit and the finish are spot on. I mean, all of the knives that I'm getting ready to show you, they're very solid. I mean, I don't know who the OEM is, but they did a good job for solidarity. Is that the word I'm looking for? This has no pass-through. There is enough room to get in there. It's not difficult to disengage that liner lock at all. It's very easy, very smooth. And this knife is drop shutty. I mean, without question, it is drop shutty. And I do like this one. You know, this is one of those ones where you could either have, if you're kind of the person that carries a knife for that particular reason, or me, I would be more apt to have this on my desk for as a letter opener. It all depends on the person and what you carry a knife for. But what you see is what you get. You do have a lanyard hole back here. You have recessed liners. There's no milling in the liners. This does have steel bearings. I was a little surprised by that. They're not ceramic ball bearings, but it does have a D-shaped pivot. So you have a captive pivot, which is very nice. Very, very nice. The ergonomics are not too bad on it. You definitely feel this big pocket clip back here. You can kind of feel the edge right here where it sticks out. But I wouldn't say this is one where you're going to be doing some heavy cutting or heavy pull cutting or anything like that. I mean, if you were going like this through some material, it wouldn't be too shabby. Now, you're not going to be thin behind the edge because this is a very short blade. So this is just going to be an everyday carry, general purpose, and maybe for poking into those Amazon packages. That would be very nice. Now, let's check out the next one. Now, this is the BEG Knives Galaxy. Would you look at it and all of its galaxiness and you're like, hey, what's going on up here? We have a plunge lock. It does have a D-shaped pivot, and wait till you see the blade on this bad boy. A little bit of harpoon action going on, and it does have a lanyard spot back there. It's a deepish carry clip, and this is one of those ones where when you put it in your pocket, see how this is angled? It kind of sets it into your pocket just like you want it to, so the knife isn't setting crooked. So I appreciate that. Oh, and wait a minute. Yeah, check this out. As far as I can tell, this is an aluminum backspacer. I like the looks of it. It's almost kind of like an orange peel look to it. But here you go. You ready for this blade? Ooh, yeah, look at that. Now, I love, love, love this blade. It is a hologround. You know I love me a hologround blade, baby. And this is VG10 steel. Look at that. Olsen. There's nothing to complain about with a beautiful blade like this. I am a sucker. And it's kind of a spear pointish married with a harpoonish. I like the way it looks, and because it doesn't have a flipper, you are able to choke up. And you know I have large width hands, so there's plenty of room to get in there and do some cutting. This one's a little more my style, is one that I would carry every day. Now, something to mention about the ergonomics on this one is the inside of these G10 scales. By the way, let me get you in there. Take a little bit of a look at the G10. Look at that. Would you look at it? The G10 looks very nice. On the inside, I would recommend, if you are going to get this, that you would get some high grit sandpaper and just kind of go along the inside on both edges, because those are kind of a hot spot, if you will, that's very sharp, very 90-degree-ish. So when you're bearing down or you're pushing, you're noticing this the whole time right here. You see it has kind of a hollow sound to it. Now, if that wasn't there and I just went like this and kind of took off those rough sharp edges, then the ergonomics on this are fantastic. I have no complaints whatsoever. The button lock on this works fantastic, and I'm gonna overuse the word fantastic. Here's a look at your button lock on the inside. And I don't get any wiggle, no blade play at all. It feels very solid in my hand. I like the action on this too. I could do that all day until I drive Mrs. Beez absolutely bonkers. But the reverse flick is really good on this. And you can also use this thumb hole. You can actually use your thumb. A lot of thumb holes, you can't get your thumb in there enough to actually actuate it. Actually deploy it. This one, you can get your thumb in there and deploy it. So this is the Galaxy. Now here's something you don't see on BEEZ Blades very often. This is a slip joint. Oh yes, this is the mini hawkbill. Wait till you see this wicked blade. Oh yeah, it looks so good. This is a JVO design also. What you see is what you get. You have G10, you have a shield right here, you have stainless steel bolsters. Very nice. And here's, you do have a nail nick. Here's your walk and talk. It sounds very cool, and look at this. Now see, this is a slip joint that I would drop in my pocket just because I enjoy that blade. This is something where opening packages, all the everyday carry kind of stuff that we do, if you're a slip joint fan, this would probably be right up your alley. I like the looks of this blade. It's not only aesthetically pleasing, but it's very functional. You can get your finger right up in here to do a little cutting. Now me, I'm not super familiar. I don't carry a lot of traditional knives, so I tend to want to push down on the top, which I'm not gonna do because, well, it's a slip joint and there's only a certain amount of pressure that I'm not used to, so I'm not gonna do something stupid on the video. But very nice looking blade on this thing. Oh, and this is 14C 28-inch blade steel, baby. So very nice looking blade. It's not a big knife. This is one that you could pocket drop, not even know you have in your pocket, but would definitely come in. I wonder if this would be good for peeling an apple. It's very possible. This is one I'm gonna try definitely carrying in my pocket. Now, check out this next one. Now this is a mini chunkerino, without a doubt. This is the BEG Knives Microburst. And there's 3 different versions, 3 different variations. This is the checkered variant, and this is another JVO design. This is a button lock, and this is a mini chunker. You ready to see this blade? Oh, snap. Look at that. Now, with it being a smaller knife lengthwise, it's made up for by the absolute chonkiness and chunkiness of this handle. And this handle, by the way, is aluminum, a little bit of aluminum action. It has, I like the different textures that you feel on it. And you can feel the checkered, you can feel the little bit of texture on the G10 inlays. I like the way it looks. And there's your back spacer. And let's see if we can see it. Yeah, right here is your plunge lock. And this one, just like the other ones, is very solid. When you have any of these in your hand, you're like, wow, that feels substantial. So it does fill my hand up very well. I can feel the pocket clip, but it's not hateful whatsoever. This is gonna be one where if you like a little bit more in your hand to hold on to when you're doing a little bit of cutting action, then this is probably gonna fit your fancy. This comes in at 4.15 ounces. So 4 ounces for, I don't know, what is this, about a 5-inch knife? Let's take a look here real quick. Just under 6 inches, about 5 3/4. But you can get all the stats and everything. I'll have the links down there where you can check out all these knives. Now, you ready to see the next one? Let's do it. Another slip joint option. Oh yeah, it's another JVO design, baby. This is the mini Recurve. And I like this. I like a recurve because if you're cutting string or anything like that, it forces what you're cutting up into the recurve. And if you haven't sharpened a recurve, they are not difficult to sharpen once you've sharpened it for the first time. Come to the live stream every Friday night. BEEZ Blades live at the Hive. Oh, right. If you want to learn how to sharpen a recurve, that's where we talk about knives and sharpening. We do giveaways, just like all of these knives. I was thinking about giving all of these away as an entire collection on the live stream. So make sure 8:15 to 11:15 p.m. Eastern time, you come and check out the live stream. Now, I do have 2 more knives to show you. I'm just going to set these up here just for something to look at. And my favorite one, I'm gonna show you last. It's after this one, although this one here is pretty cool. But the live stream, we talk about knives, everyday carry gear, and we do giveaways, and it's like Cheers, where everybody knows your name. This is a JVO Designs. This is the BG035, and it sounds very good on the walk and talk. It has that nice hollow tink. Now this is a more full-size traditional. There's no pocket clip. This is going to be a pocket dropper. It's a traditional. A lot of folks, when they have a knife like this these days, are getting pocket slips and slips to put them in. This has 14C 28N blade steel, kind of a modified sheep's foot blade. It comes in at 4.15 ounces, so it's just over the 4-ounce mark. And then you know the size of my hand if you watch any of my content. If you have a large width hand, it fits very comfortable. I like the way it feels. It is hefty. I mean, it feels substantial in your hand. It doesn't feel like plastic. And speaking of plastic, it has G10 scales. And they're very smooth. The transition between the scales and the shield is seamless. You can't even tell there's a transition there. Stainless steel bolsters and very nice size. That right there would make a pair. You could have the large and then one of these smalls as a secondary. Now let me show you my absolute favorite out of this group. This one here is, I don't know, there's something special about it. This is the BEG Knives Diamisi. Would you look at it? I mean, just look at it. You have G10 scales with a seamless wood inlay and carbon fiber inlay. You cannot feel where any of those inlays start or end. And this is a flipper, and you know I love flipper knives. It does have a captive pivot. I would hazard to say it probably has steel bearings like the other ones. And I did take one or two apart. By the way, on BEG Knives website, it says if you take their knives apart, it does void the warranty. So keep that in mind. Me, I can work on my knives, but if it's something that you don't want to take a chance on, then you might want to take that into consideration. But the pocket clip on this one works very well. This is not a heavy knife. I like the way it feels in my hand. I don't think it's even 3 ounces. It's somewhere around 2.6, 2.7 ounces. And are you ready for this? Pow! Right in the kisser. Now look at that. Ooh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And by the way, there's 6 different variants of this one. And I'll have all 6 of them listed down there in the description. This one, I like the way it feels. There's adequate pass-through to get to that liner lock. It's not hard to disengage. It's extremely smooth. And this one, like the other ones, I mean, it's just rock solid. Whoever made it, whoever the OEM is, they did a really good job of making these feel solid in the hand. Now with this one, the one thing you can notice is on the inside of the G10, on the inside here, it has that roughness. So you can see here where it's grabbing the top of my my fingernail. That's something I would do with this one also, is get a little bit of sandpaper and just soften off the inside of these edges, because that I can feel. And the only other thing is with my large width hand, that pocket clip is kind of a hot spot on this particular one, depending on where I have it. Now, if I have it nestled just right, paying attention, it's not as bad, but do know that because of the shape of this pocket clip and the way it comes out here to the point, that maybe if it was recessed or set inside a little further, it wouldn't be sticking out. But that pocket clip does make itself very well known. But then this isn't going to be a hard use knife either. This is going to be an everyday carry knife that you're not going to be doing hardcore stuff with. And the blade steel on this one is VG10. You don't see VG10 steel on pocket knives hardly ever these days. So if you like VG10 steel, then this may be right up your alley. So I hope you enjoyed checking out all these cool BEG knives. And a big shout out to BEG Knives for sending these for me to check out and to show all of you. I actually got these at Blade Show, and shame on me for taking so long to get to them, but I'm glad I was able to share these with all of you. And I want to get your opinions. Do you have any BEG knives, or do you have some of their super fancy custom knives? I haven't experienced their custom knives, but boy, if you go to their website and check out the custom knives, they are very, very impressive. So let me know what you think. Do you have a favorite? If I was going to give these away, which one would you want? And then go watch this video. You'll really enjoy that. And until I see you again in the lives or the chats or the Hive stream, remember, live life in the present, keep a Band-Aid handy, and don't cut yourself.